What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I want to break down what's happening with NIO, Tesla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm also going to break down why it's possible for NIO to continue to remain range bound for the next few days. But despite that, I believe that NIO is going to explode starting in June. We're going to see a big move to the upside. I'm going to break down exactly why I believe that, why I'm quite confident in that potentially happening. But before I break things down with this information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. I am firstly not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo, deposit $100, you are guaranteed 7 free stocks. And this offer ends today in just about 10 hours from now. So check it out, guys. The offer is almost over. This is your last chance to sign up for this deal. We have 10 hours left. Anyways, for NIO, after this bearish divergence, NIO got a bit of a rejection, and we're holding this support at 4.75. Now, we still have this gap down here below to fill. We haven't really gone down that low. And if we don't end up filling that gap for the time being, there's still a chance NIO could get a big explosive move to the upside before that even happens. And we could even try to just avoid that, at least for the time being. So what do I see for the share price? Am I bullish? Am I bearish? I'm going to give you guys more answers. For the short term, I do think that NIO is showing some more signs of life and a little bit of upside. But for the next week that's coming up, I think that June is going to be very important because on June 6th, I believe we have earnings coming up. Not to mention June 1st is when we have deliveries for May. And the numbers look very, very strong. The Chinese sales have come out, the registrations, and they're looking very strong for NIO. So we might get some very, very nice price action as we approach June 1st. So I'm going to break some more information about this in just a few minutes. Let's first talk about the market. Right now, the market is quite neutral. We're actually getting a little bit closer to greed. We saw the market kind of dip a bit before trying to get bought back up. But overall, I'd still be very, very careful. Market momentum is still quite greedy. We're still kind of range bound right now. The puts and call option positioning is still neutral. We did see a little bit more call buying than before and some puts being closed, but still it's at a very, very volatile place. And the VIX is trying to bounce a bit. We are starting to see it kind of uptrending just a bit, re-hitting the 12s. So we're seeing a little bounce so far. We'll see if that continues into tomorrow or not. For data for the overall market, as a reminder, tomorrow is going to be Wednesday, May 29th, 2024, here in the USA. And then don't forget that we have the Richmond Fed Manufacturing Index coming out at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time and some more services data. So at 10 a.m., look for some volatility. We'll see what this causes for the markets. At 11:30, look for the bill auctions that might cause some more moves. Then we have the beige book coming out at 2 o'clock p.m. We'll see what that also causes. So the beige book is going to be very important, giving us more information about what's happening with economic data, what's happening with economic reports. And besides that, it's all just going to be all about some very, very minor data in the very beginning. But don't forget that for Thursday, we have GDP numbers coming out and initial jobless claims. On Fridays, when we have the PCE data coming out, so we have 2 huge data days coming up very soon. First, let's get past Wednesday when we have some more manufacturing numbers and such in the beige book, and we'll see how things go from there. Now, moving forward for tomorrow, it's going to be Wednesday. Okay, for earnings, we have Chewy.com, Dick's Sporting Goods, Salesforce, and just a few others. Then for Thursday, we also happen to have Kohl's, Costco, and Dell. They're also going to be very, very important. Now, anyways, now let's just talk about the big thing I've been trying to talk about, and that is what's happening right here. NIO is, NIO is absolutely crushing it. They are killing it when it comes to deliveries. They're doing very, very well, and we're looking at some crazy good numbers. Between May 20th and May 26th, NIO did 5,400 new registrations, which is absolutely incredible, right? That's in just about 7 days. That basically shows us that if they keep this up for an entire month, they'll get close to that 20,000 delivery target. But here's the big part about NIO. I think the numbers are right here. For NIO, they basically have about 15,400 deliveries. Excuse me, guys, got a little cough. Sorry about that. 15,400 deliveries between May 1st and May 26th. That is actually very, very important. That's actually incredible for NIO. So 15,400 is actually almost the same as what they got during the last report. And that's just from May 1st to May 26th. That means from May 27th to May 31st, that's basically 5 days. They basically have another report that's coming out that's going to be very important. And in those final 5 days, if NIO could do something like at least 3,000 new insurance registrations or something like that, they're easily going to get to at least 15,000 plus or 18,000 plus deliveries for the month of May. Easily, they're going to be surpassing that. So we're going to be looking at some good numbers. Look at the registrations; they're going up like crazy. The new models are absolutely crushing it, and we're starting to see, in my opinion, some more potential. I wouldn't be surprised if they do close to about 18 plus thousand. If not, on the higher end, I would say close to like 19 plus thousand, somewhere between there for the month. That's going to be absolutely incredible. And I think NIO of all companies could achieve that because the registrations keep going up and up and up. So that basically tells us that NIO could be getting very, very close to their targets, as they may be getting close to 20,000 deliveries per month. And that is very, very bullish. Very, very exciting news. On top of all of this, I just want to call out that NIO also has the EL6. We with the EL6, which is the European name for it, and the ES6, they have a total of 200,000 deliveries, which is very, very bullish. That's a mid-sized SUV that's very important, especially in European markets. Very, very great news for them. Bank of America Securities is maintaining a neutral rating for the company. The price-price ratio is starting to go up just a bit as NIO is gaining some strength. And in terms of seasonality, we do tend to be green about 56% of the time on Wednesdays. That's a good sign. Look for volatility at 1 p.m. and also during the final hour of the day. And I think that NIO is set for a move to the upside very soon. For volume, we have about 46 million, which is not bad whatsoever. We're starting to see it going up a bit. And I think we're going to see a big surge very soon. How do I think this is going to play out? In my personal opinion, the 4-hour of NIO is looking a bit more bullish. I think it's going to be retesting $5. And if we break this, I'll be looking at 5.1 as two resistance levels. I don't think NIO will explode immediately, but I do think that there is some buyers stepping in. And we're looking a bit more bullish on these bigger time frames. Looking at the daily, for instance, the daily candlestick is kind of not the strongest as we kind of pumped in dumps today. So I wouldn't be surprised if we actually kind of come down just a bit, then try to rebound and eventually push back up to $5. So look for a test of this low gap area around this like 4.8 area, a bounce to about 5, and then some sideways price action. I think NIO is going to remain range bound for now, but once we get those June 1st deliveries, I wouldn't be surprised if NIO sees a big move to the upside. I find that to be a lot more favorable. So I favor that. Look, NIO might consolidate right here, trade sideways. We're going to get a big surge in volume, even a push to the upside once we get those June deliveries, because I think NIO is going to absolutely crush it. When we got the May deliveries, you guys could see NIO also went parabolic. NIO had a crazy green day. It ran up like crazy. I think we're going to likely see something very similar considering where we are right now. Now, for the overall market, I want to talk about some other important factors. SPY closed at about 529.8. Did try to rebound a bit. During the after hours, it's actually down again. I just want to say it's kind of range trading right here, and I do see a risk of this actually tipping a bit more, but that does not mean it's going to crash forever or anything like that. I think that it could just be kind of like temporary, if anything. But the 4-hour is showing some weakness. I think that SPY is going to continue to consolidate. We have resistance at 530 and support around 527.5 to 528. I wouldn't be surprised if we do continue to dip just a little bit lower. We also have that gap to fill at 523, so there could be some downside coming temporarily before we get a very, very big bounce for the summer. So I think that the odds still favor this continuing to consolidate, maybe dipping just a bit. For Tesla, we're completely range bound. We have resistance around this 180 area. We have support at 172 to 173. I wouldn't be surprised if Tesla kind of dips a bit, pops to about 178 and comes back down to about 173 and continues to trade sideways as it's been doing. You guys can see it's been just trading completely sideways for the most part. Besides this one little pop right here, it's been kind of range bound here, also right here. And we're going to likely maintain this range with lots of sideways price action for now. But there's a big but, guys. When we zoom out and go into the month of June to July, I think that there's going to be more upside as Tesla has a nice inverse in the shoulders. And I just see this as an accumulation. So could we dip a bit? Yes, we could consolidate a bit, but eventually there's going to be a big run coming to Tesla. For Nvda looks bullish. It's still pushing for 1150. There's no sign of it stopping just yet. Our next target is going to be 11. Well, it depends if we could break 1150. If that breaks, I'll be watching 1160, 1180, and then 1200 after that. If we keep going, there's no sign of this stopping yet, so it's still helping the market hold up. For the triple Q, we're kind of flat, but let me just make it very clear. We have a rising wedge that's forming. The 4-hour does show it could push towards 460 again, but just be careful because once again, the market does have some signs that it might kind of form a top. So I'd be very careful with the triple Q. We have some tight resistance between 460 and 461. Last time we hit this, we did get a little rejection, and we still have an unfilled gap below. So watch and see how it reacts to 460. If we get a rejection, look for a move back down to 457.5. If we hold above it, then yes, we could be pushed for 461. If it breaks that all-time high, then it could keep going. But for now, it's very, very indecisive. So it's been trading sideways. You guys could see it pushed up, came down, pushed up, came down, pushed up. It's been trading sideways, so we'll have to give this a bit more time. For Aapl, Aapl pumped and dumps today. We have support at 190. If we lose this, we could be dipping down to 188. And we have resistance at 191. So we'll have to see which way we end up moving and be very, very open minded nonetheless. That's it for the main five. For Amazon, watch 182 as resistance. If we break this, look for 183.5. If we end up losing 181.5, there's a risk of 180. Overall, buyers like to defend 180, so I do favor that this might actually try to consolidate a bit between 180 and 182. So it might just trade sideways for now. Meta, on the other hand, is looking a bit more like it's showing life. If it breaks 480, look for 482. And if we end up losing 477, well, if we lose 478, then we'll watch 477 and 475. I favor trying to push higher. Overall, share price is looking pretty good. GME is also holding up quite nicely. It does have potential to go higher, so we have this imbalance to fill. But we'll have to see if we can try to break 25. If we break that, look for a push for 30. Otherwise, we're still kind of stuck. For AMC, I think there's going to be a big push coming to the upside. We're just accumulating shares right now, but there will be a big pump to at least 7, at least a little bit later on, in my personal opinion. So that's it for the main stocks out there. Also for Bitcoin, it came down a bit. Now it's trying to rebound with the market hitting the 50 EMA. If we reject off 68,500, we're going to be dipping back down to 66,000 or 67,500. Sorry about that. If we break this, we're going to be pushing back up to 69,500. As of right now, we're fighting resistance. We're kind of shuffling. So I'll have to give this some time. The trend on Bitcoin is a little bit more bearish. We're slowly kind of downtrending a bit. So we will see if Bitcoin gets a rejection or not. It is attempting to bounce, but we're still range bound as we have this 69,000 resistance and support around 67,500. So we will see if we get a rejection or not and give it some time. With that being said, for NIO, I'm not too worried about the next few days. It is possible NIO kind of dips a little bit, then rebounds. So watch 4.8 to be retested, a little rebound after that, and some sideways price action. But as we approach the month of June, there might be a big bounce coming as we have some good deliveries numbers coming most likely. So I do think there's going to be a big bounce approaching June, and we'll give this the time it needs. With that being said, thank you all so much for listening. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys very soon on the next one for tomorrow. Thank you, and peace out.